think about change making, I think of it more as a perspective or a paradigm, the way you look at your students or the world even. And through Youth Venture, because I've been involved with United Way as well, through Youth Venture you could see the culture shift of really just awareness. Now when it's embedded into curriculum, it's way more than awareness. It's embedded in them. It starts to become part of them. And you notice kids doing small things that really can make a big difference in one kid's life. And you just start noticing and picking up on it. And it's trusting in just a better environment and better place to learn. You know, where you feel like you can be yourself and express yourself and no one's gonna look at you sideways or, you know, make you feel a certain way. They're cool with you, you know, no matter what. And that's been the best part of it for me. Definitely all the stuff that we've been doing with VIPN. I wanted to look at it in a different way. But before I did that, I needed to do massive amounts of research because I didn't just feel okay just jumping into it. And the research lines up. If you do it the right way and you give kids freedom within sort of strict parameters, they're usually going to be successful. So I went into it with the proclivity that they're going to be successful. They're going to do well. And it was a lot of work on both ends, for sure. But they knew that I was trying something different, and they were helpful and they were understanding, and they gave me great feedback on it. And they all rose to the occasion. So they could choose, if they wanted to, they could get a D, right? And they would have to do minimum work to get the D, okay? And they knew it. They knew what they could do to get what they wanted. And I didn't have one D. I didn't have one D. You know how many Ds I usually have? Like 10. You know what I mean? It totally shifted the whole dynamic of my classroom. And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna get a D anyway. It was like, well, I could maybe do this and get a B, you know, or get a C, and they did. They pushed themselves way further than I thought they would. And because it was their choice. And they made the right ones, you know, for the most part. I had no clue what I wanted, how I wanted to teach, but I knew I didn't want to teach like how I was taught. I knew that was certain. And, you know, last year I'm walking out of here, I see Lauren, she's on the computer, she's like, hey Steve, come over here, come check this out. So I'm like, okay, and it's VIPN, and then she shows me this great thing all about change making. I'm like, that's been my dream for education for like 10 years now. You know, education was built on an economy from 50 years ago, and we haven't changed at all. And people are afraid of it. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, I can do that in my classroom. I might actually be able to teach the way I really want to. And luckily I have a good principal, and he was like, yeah, throw away your grading system, no worries. You know, it's okay, try it out, see what happens. And just having that freedom alone has been awesome for me. So in a way, it is kind of like I'm getting a chance to experience it, maybe on the flip side. But if every kid had this experience, the world would be a better place. Through our principal, he is very supportive of whatever we wanted to do. He's at every Changemaker session with us. He's been a part of it. But I think one of my biggest inspirations and my biggest supporters and pushers is the other champion here, Sharon Tomaso, because she's so passionate about it. It can't help but become contagious. And then when you get the two of us together, we're just like, ooh, you know, little kids in a candy store. So she sort of serves my passion, and he allows me to do it. So them together really make it a cool experience to be able to be a part of. there's lots of kids who maybe, aren't necessarily the best students, but they have really lots of other great talents. And this sort of allows them to navigate them and maybe find out what they are in a way. So I have a couple students who they're like nerdy kids, but they like to read and they do pretty well in English. But socially, even within themselves, they don't really interact or know how to. But through just the whole culture shift of the class, they don't sit near each other anymore. They branched out, they'll talk to people. It's totally different now, completely. It takes an ecosystem to raise a change maker.